99.5 FM WBAI New York. Welcome back to another episode of Black Seinfeld, the show about nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
This is the second to last episode. That is right, people. After next week, there will be no more Black Seinfeld. Ever. Ever, ever. Forever, ever. Forever, ever. On WBAI New York Radio. That is right. That is right. So prepare yourselves. Take this time to, go back into the catalog and look at all the other old episodes that we've done during our 5-year stint here at 99.5 FM WBAI New York. In case this is your first time listening to this, hi, my name is Giovanni Anglin. I go by many names: Trinidadi, Panamanian, Poppy, Rude Boy, Top Gunna, Sakpanyamada. Hi.
And I go by Bashtin, recording live from LA. Gio's in Brooklyn, New York. And don't worry, people, I wasn't always in LA. This is more like within the last year. I used to be recording from Queens. And even before that, we used to actually do the show in person together, pre-pandemic. So,
Good times.
So a lot has changed, and we'll definitely get to discuss more of that next week. So definitely tune in to next week's episode. That will be our last episode here at WBAI. But to listen to our previous episode, we will still continue the show, but the best way to find us will be through our podcast. So first things first, we do have the Black Seinfeld website, blackseinfeld.com. Check it out. You'll see our YouTube channel and the podcast, whatever you feel more comfortable using. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Black Seinfeld NY. And if you have any requests or any questions, please reach out and email us through blackseinfeldny@gmail.com. And if you want to find our podcast, just pretty much type in Black Seinfeld. You'll see it. Beautiful pink and white logo with the black background. That's us. Over 250 episodes. So it's real. It's legit. Like it's an interesting idea. You want to check it out. Then
that's right.
It's like it's kind of sad where you want to check out someone's podcast and there's only 10 episodes and it stopped like in 2018. We're not them. Okay, we have a lot of episodes.
Yeah, we've been doing this right here since 2014. Okay, so we take this seriously. Okay, we talk about a plethora of things. Okay, we talk about politics, we talk about movies, we talk about music, we talk about modern women and why they're trash, and that's why we've taken the red pill. That we do all of it.
Oh, okay. We don't do.
I'm joking.
Yeah, we don't do that. Like, but we're definitely calling out all those other podcasts, and it has changed the whole podcast sphere. Before, back then, it was pretty much like comedians and people that have extra time and money to actually start podcasts. But now it's the small, tiny cults trying to red pill 12-year-olds into changing their state of mind. I don't know why we're in this post small cult era due to internet and social media.
It's because of internet and social media, but too, I also have to take this back to the pandemic, man, where people are still coming out of that pandemic, and a lot of them are socially awkward. They don't know how to talk to people. They don't know how to be extroverted because for a good 2 years, people had to be introverted. So now that everyone is going back outside in the world, some people just don't know how to talk to one another. Some people don't understand how to just be in the other presence of people. And so here you go ahead and you find someone like an Andrew Tate who's currently still locked up, and he's appealing because he's charismatic. He talks poignantly, and he's very stern about what he believes in. He talks very fast, and he dresses nice, and he got money. And so a lot of impressionable young men think, oh wow, I want to be that guy. So I'm going to mimic everything that he does and he says, and I'll do my best to be that, emulate that. But this is not what we do here, folks. We are two educated black men, okay, that reject the red pill movement. We reject the blue pill. We reject all that stuff.
We're not in the matrix. We're all living day by day. Hustling,
exactly, step by step.
Trying to survive.
That's all. We're just trying to understand meaning to this crazy thing called life. That's it.
Yeah.
And you come along with us to the ride as we explain that.
Yeah, we're 28, no kids. So we chilling.
That's right.
Yeah.
That is called Beautiful. That's called beauty right there. Okay. All right. We not like one of those Republicans out there that's like, oh God, how are you guys shaming the fact that you don't have kids? Kids are a blessing. Da, da, da. They're saying that because they have them in their lives right now. Okay. And hey, kudos to you, but I like to wake up and I like to make myself avocado toast. I like to go to the movies. These are what I like.
Go to
These are things
movies
that
on a
I like to do.
random Tuesday.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to do that. You know what, Bastion? Because you're an uncle. The best part about being an uncle is giving the children back. I love it. I get to come in, show up, show my face, put them onto something new, give them toys that will make their parents' lives miserable, and I get to leave.
Yeah,
It's the best
I
thing.
was told to do that. I
Yes.
gotta figure out to get like a really good authentic lightsaber, like affordable but still annoying, the one that makes
Yes.
sounds when you swing it. I'm gonna give it to my
Oh, that's a good one.
give it to my nephew.
How old is your nephew now,
He
man?
turned 5. He turned 5. He's very fun, charismatic for a 5-year-old. Very silly. He has a
See,
good sense of humor. So,
this is the best time now because they're talking, they're running around, they somewhat have a mind of their own as
oh yeah,
well.
it's scary, right? It's like wow, 5-year-olds with these very like smart thoughts, and they're not just random. They're very particular. It's like oh okay, so you're a genuine person. It's very interesting, especially
That's
like
right.
a 5-year-old.
5-year-olds are very observant as well, so they notice a lot of things. And what's also really good about them is they don't have a filter as of yet. So whatever they say is very genuine
That's what I
in their
mean. The
heart.
sense of humor is just funny. Comedic timing.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, you have really good comedic timing for a 5-year-old. Show business, but nah, he's funny. He's very funny.
Oh, that's beautiful, man.
So, all right, speaking of show business, let's get into our first topic. Uh, the Super Bowl. Super Bowl was
Yes.
this Sunday. It was a very interesting event. Here in the West Coast is a little different because it's earlier in the day, roughly around 3 p.m. So I
Right.
had to start my chicken wings really, really early. So by the time I finished cooking, it was around 2:30. It's kind of
Ooh,
strange eating dinner food earlier in the day. Well, chicken wings is a little something else, but like snack on.
appetizer. Yeah,
It's a snack on or a side dish or the main dish, depending on where you get it or like if you're lazy to cook the rice, like me.
that's true.
So I just got a bunch of wings, cooked it up with dry barbecue rub, and
Mm,
sat down waiting for the game to start. And it was interesting. I don't really watch football. I do pay attention every now and then. I've been watching Super Bowl for a long time. It's been pretty fun. It's like the culture event. So even though
yeah,
we
it
did have
is.
the Grammys the week before, then we have the Super Bowl. Then I think next weekend or the weekend after next is going to be the NBA All Star,
Hmm.
and it's always like this for February. So it's always been fun. It's like yeah, every Sunday I have like something to look forward to.
Definitely. I am different from Bash and everyone. I am a huge football fan. And my attitude towards the Super Bowl is always the same. I don't care who wins. I just want a good game, and that's it. But unless if the Giants are in the Super Bowl, I'm going all out. Okay. Super Bowl parties, all that stuff. All right. This is an event. But if it's two teams that I don't really care about, I'm home. I'm chilling. It's not a big concern. Quite frankly, to me, this was going to be just the Rihanna concert, in my humble opinion. But we had something incredible happen. We got Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts. This is still Black History Month. We had, for the first time ever, with Super Bowl 57, two African American quarterbacks ever to compete head to head. So that was cool. But also, we had a really good Super Bowl 57.
Yeah,
Really good game.
yeah, I agree. As someone that's like an observer from the outside, and I have no connection to either one of these teams whatsoever, so I didn't really care who wins. Against this, we're definitely against the Eagles because we're from New York. Just
Exactly.
I just have to be. So just watch the Chiefs win. It was a good game. It was very. What more can I say? It was consistent. I could say throughout the half. It wasn't like low scoring the entire time. High scoring, high pace, uh, and good commercials or decent commercials. I like to say, not compared to last year, but there's definitely a couple decent commercials this year.
Commercials were, I only have honestly a good two favorite commercials.
Where are they?
First, the first one was the Rakuten commercial where they showcase Clueless,
I thought that was
and
whack as hell.
well, I enjoy Clueless very much, so I enjoyed seeing Alicia Silverstone once again. So that is my favorite one, and plus, I already use Rakuten, so I was like, oh
Oh,
shoot.
okay. What is that?
So I'm biased. It's basically like a cashback website that you can just add on your Google Chrome as an extension, and they give you cash back on certain items like Macy's, Travelocity, I think Adidas, Nike as well.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, it just depends on the certain tier. Funny enough,
Mhm.
the reason why I found out about this, I believe back in like October when I was formally working at the employment that I was working at. I could talk about this stuff now. Um, yeah, I had this we had a bodyguard to protect myself and my manager, long story short, but he was also really good at finance. And so he was telling me about Rakuten. He's like, "Yeah, man, if you just attach it over to your Google Chrome, you get cash back like 1%, 2%, 3%, just depending on what it is that you purchase." And so when I was going over to Atlanta, I used Rakuten for that Travelocity get back money, and it actually works, man.
Interesting. Uh, you know how like some of the how cashback kind of works in terms of like the 1%, 2%.
Yes.
So it's like this credit card processing. So I thought that was pretty interesting. I wonder how that works with Rakuten. It's like, do they have an in with like Visa or Mastercard?
Oh, PayPal. They have in with
Ah,
PayPal.
okay, okay, that makes sense. All right.
Yep.
Yeah, PayPal is pretty expensive. I know depending on how much you're processing through PayPal, it could be either very high or very low. So you're in the like maybe like the 20% percentile. You're pretty good.
Yeah.
But if you like regular, like me and you, doing this one eBay thing, they will take like a whole chunk of it.
hmm
So yeah.
But
What other
but yeah, that
commercials
was my
did you
first
like?
one. The second one was it was the popcorn chip thing
Oh, we're Breaking
with
Bad.
Breaking Bad. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was it. I didn't care about anything else.
Interesting. I like the EV one with GM. Will Ferrell, where he was like in different shows.
Okay, yes, I did see that one.
It's kind of overboard for a commercial. It's kind of when it's like it gets too theme and the actor is just too good at his job to be in this
hmm
commercial. It's one of those things. Speaking of Patrick Mahomes, I think I said this last year or at least 2 years ago, and the last time he was in the Super Bowl. He's one of my favorite sports athletes in commercials.
State Farm.
Like the State Farm, I thought his State Farm commercials are always on point. As like you've seen other athletes and their acting skills are just terrible, and you wish
hmm
like, hey, if they could do like one or two more takes, I think that the third take will be better. But it looks like Patrick Mahomes is natural,
You
and
know, I
yeah,
find it ironic that you know Patrick Patrick Mahomes is the State Farm guy. They were in the State Farm arena, so I thought there was no way they were gonna let their guy lose at all in the
yeah,
Super Bowl.
ain't no way. Out in Arizona. And the other commercial I thought was interesting was the Uber one when he spoke to Diddy to make a like a jingle for
I saw
Uber,
that.
and it was like Montel, I think Montel Jordan.
Yes.
So yeah, it was funny. It was funny to me. That's how it is sometimes. You come with me and say, "Hey, we need a jingle." Even though I'm completely against the concept of Uber One, Uber Eats, I think it's just expensive just to save like 5%, and then your taxes and the tip money you have to give to the driver just adds up to the same. So
Well, I agree definitely with Uber and a lot of those apps. Uber, Seamless,
DoorDash,
DoorDash,
yeah,
all of them are. You can just order like a $10 burger, freaking $40 altogether. It's completely ass, but
and we spoke
still,
about it a couple
we
weeks
have.
ago why it's much expensive because these corporate entities aren't getting much VC money, so they actually have to be profitable now, and it's hurting our
Mhm.
pockets.
There was all. I'm sorry. There's one more commercial that I liked, and it was because of the standby jingle. It was Miles Teller and his girlfriend were in it. Maybe his girlfriend, I don't know. But normally when you call like collect or you call maybe a like customer service and they have you on hold, they had him on hold and it was that little jingle. I know you know the jingle. Everyone knows the jingle. Yes, they were just dancing their asses off to that jingle. And you know what? Totally relatable because it's a cool ass jingle and it's still being used to this day. So I love it.
Yeah. If you have, I don't know what phone company or like a business phone company, but once you put it on hold, it should be able to play that sound. So it's
Yes,
it's pretty funny.
it
Um,
is.
yeah, it was a good commercial. I like it. You ever been on hold? What's the longest time you've been on hold? I think that's my
That
question.
that is a great question. The longest I've ever been on hold, probably 15 minutes.
15 minutes. Interesting. For me,
Yeah.
it was an hour and 30 minutes.
What were you doing?
I was locked out my World of Warcraft account, and I had to reset it. So it took an hour and 30 minutes because it was busy.
Oh no. I wonder how many people were going through that.
It happens more often than you think. So especially if you work with a certain group and someone logs into your account and counts as scamming, so they might lock you for a bit. You would just have to confirm over the phone, and they take forever to answer too, which is ridiculous. You would think they would have a system, but this is back in 2011. I like to say. So yeah,
Oh, World of Warcraft was huge then still.
yeah. I think this is like post
The hell, Blizzard?
Lynch King. So that was pretty fun. Then of course it got a little bit easier with Panda, but anyways, that was a different era for me. And I had like my cell phone. I put it on. I thought it would take like 15 minutes, and that took a whole hour and 30 minutes. Like, what is going on? And I'm happy it happened then, because if it happened like maybe 2007, uh, I'm running out of minutes.
Yeah,
But
that's
it's
right.
a different era. Everything's unlimited minutes because they realize that charging people per minute is like robbery. So yeah, uh,
I hear you.
T-Mobile also had another commercial with John Travolta and JD
I
and
actually didn't
Turk
see that one.
and Zach Braff and Donald Faison. So
Oh, I didn't see that one.
they have good chemistry. So
Well,
yeah,
there was one that people were some people were arm up in arms about that I honestly didn't know about. And that was the Tubi commercial.
yeah. The 2B commercial is very strange because I'm sure anybody have seen it. It was trending pretty well. It looked like
Right.
someone clicked the remote and changed the channel to click another stream.
Exactly.
But like I knew it was fake instantly because
Because
it.
you don't have Tubi.
No, 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 no. It looks very similar to the Samsung UI. All these UIs are
Okay.
very similar, actually. The same color, same blue. It pops on the bottom and you scroll down. They all look the same. But it looks a little bit blurry. Like it wasn't HD, so that's how I knew it was a commercial. So maybe I was like 2 second freak out. By third second, it's like, wait a minute, this is a commercial. But a lot of people, I saw a lot of people make comments like this is funny. But as the week progressed, people was like, oh man, like people were fighting at a bar. Spouse was yelling at the other spouse, like, what are you doing? It got real violent, and it's like, oh no, it was it was like a psychology test to see how
Yeah.
people would react in the household, and it got violent very, very quickly. And there was this stat that I've always seen every single Super Bowl. It's like um, sports events is the highest time of domestic violence, and I was like, damn, this test kind of proved it.
Okay.
I think that should be like one of those red flag tests that you do with your significant other, to see
Word.
how
Absolutely.
over the top. Because you could say
How
like,
they
hey,
react.
yo, you're sitting on the remote, but if you're yelling, getting ready
Right.
to fight, that's a red flag. Hello.
Sus. A lot of yeah, reading it was sus, but also I was just at a point of eh, like it's not that serious. Yeah, I don't even want to. It's not Tubi's fault. It's just a damn commercial.
You're a smart one.
I'm more smart commercial. I more so blame the people that have been overreacting because like it's just football, dude. Relax.
No, it's not relaxed. It's see, that's the thing. You can, as I said, because it's a sports event, a major sports event, and it looks like
I get
someone
it.
changed the channel. You
I
can't
get
have
it.
that small freak out. Not
I get it. I understand. Trust me. I If my team was in the Super Bowl, trust me, I get it.
yeah.
Okay? I get it.
I wonder if they didn't test that. I wonder if, you don't test commercials, right? You just make it and just send it in.
I don't, you know what? No, you definitely have to test drive commercials because people do test runs of shows all the time, no?
Yes and no. Yeah, TV shows, yeah, but commercials, it has to go through somebody.
I'm
Funny.
sure the intent wasn't for all the domestic violence to go up.
Yeah, it's
I'm not laughing at domestic violence, people. I'm just laughing at the situation. I'm sorry.
yeah, it got intense real quick, and a lot of people are commenting. A lot of people are showing videos of like, people have cameras in their house
Right.
and they're putting it on TikTok and Instagram, and we all experience it all. It's like, damn, I was
It's
just
like you're
chilling.
right, of course. That's what normal people do
No,
that don't have to be.
I don't know. I don't know what to say. Isn't
That was my thing too. I was like, dude, I don't have Tubi, so I know this isn't real.
But do you have a smart TV, like a Samsung smart TV?
I do have a Samsung TV, but that's in the living room. It's in the living room, but I was watching the Super Bowl in my room, so I already knew for a fact that wasn't me.
Okay. So my Samsung smart TV has the same thing. So that's why I was like, huh, for a
Right.
second. But if you have a regular TV, you are not insulted.
You know what's crazy? But like my Samsung interface, it does not look like the Tubi interface at all.
Well, it looked like it for a second, especially when you press down and like
Yeah.
the bar comes up as an overlay.
Right.
So
Mhm.
for like maybe like 0.2, like I said, like for 2 seconds, you felt like you were sitting on the remote. But it was so like 480p on my 4K TV. It's like, oh, okay, it's commercial. But enough
Okay.
about commercials. I know that people just want to hear our opinions on the Rihanna performance. Gio, what's your first initial opinion?
My first initial opinion on the Rihanna performance. Listen, people, Rihanna hasn't performed in almost 6, 7 years. All right, this was a big deal for people in the Navy like myself. This was going to be a magical moment. Okay, but I must talk to Rakim for a moment, please. Listen, man, I gotta talk to you, dude. We get it. All right, we understand. We get it. Robin Rihanna Fenty is your woman. She's your lady. We get it. We understand. You don't need to put another stamp of approval on it. All right, relax. Okay, see this is the problem with New York men. All right, when they get something pure and precious, they want to just make sure everyone knows, the whole world knows that this person is with them. We get it. All right. You're being selfish. Okay. Because now everyone just kept talking about Rihanna being pregnant. Okay. That was the first thing I saw. Right after her beautiful face, we saw the bump. All right. And I was like, damn it.
I thought the camera zoom was a little bit too slow. If it was faster, I think we wouldn't have that question saying, "Oh, is she pregnant?" I think everyone was just
Oh,
like, it was like a second off, and you see her
I
rubbing her
hear you.
belly, and I was like,
Yeah. Once
"Oh
I saw the
man,
belly rub,
yeah."
man, I said, we're never going to get this new Rihanna
You can
album.
still get both, but yeah, I feel you. I feel you. Because you
You
got to
know
go
me
on
now. She's
tour, you got
damn
to
good.
advertise.
Exactly. She's a billionaire, man. She don't got time for this. She could just, plug Fenty in, which she did. But other than that, right, I've seen a lot of people with their takes of, oh, it was boring. Oh, she didn't bring out anyone, which I kind of thought she would bring out someone. I got a bit nervous at certain songs. I was like, no way. She doesn't have the balls. I knew that wasn't happening at all. But I thought maybe like Jay would come out, do Umbrella, just a little rap part. I knew we weren't going to see Drake at all. But when she was playing certain records, like all of the lights and stuff, some people were thinking in the back of their head, are we going to see Ye, the return of Ye? I knew better than that because Rihanna is a businesswoman. Okay. She's a smart businesswoman, and that would not look good. But other than that, the intro track, Bitch Better Have My Money, great intro track. I didn't expect it. I thought we are going to get like Disturbia or something, or Please Don't Stop the Music. That's what I thought initially.
We didn't get Disturbia.
No Disturbia, no
Hmm.
Please Don't Stop the Music. We didn't get any of
They
that,
got
which
Pon the
I
replay for a little bit.
we, a little bit Pondy replay, which was nice to listen to once again. I like Rihanna's fit. I like the choreography. I liked her set list. As a Super Bowl performance, I don't think is that memorable though. Like if that makes sense, like on a scale of like 10 for me is Prince, right? The Prince performance. I don't think anything is topping that.
Michael
And
Jackson topped it.
no chance in hell.
No,
Prince sang Purple Rain and it started raining, bro. Like it actually rained.
yeah.
He didn't choreograph that. He didn't choreograph
Well, the
rain. It
Beyonce one was pretty good, but like we don't want to compare things to.
no.
Yeah, but I understand what you mean. What would
Yeah,
you
it's
give it?
just
If that's a Prince is a 10, then
probably like a 6.
a 6. Okay, I feel the same way. I feel it was too simplistic in the style. I completely agree with what you're saying. So I'm pretty much just going to add on. I agree. It was decent. The song choices were great. It's just
Yes.
when you're watching the film, when you're watching the show, it just feels like a lot of white movement, and that's it. And you see her in the center as a red dot. So
Yes.
even if you're like looking down, you could still imagine what's happening, and the whole
Mhm.
platform looking. I wasn't too much of a fan with that either because of it going up and down. I do think there's certain
Okay.
technologies that do well. I'm not really a fan of fireworks anymore in performances. I think like
Mhm.
when Lady Gaga had the drones, I thought
Yes.
that was really interesting because you can make a lot. You could do a lot with drones now. I think drones are very very creative. You could do more than what you could used to do with fireworks. So because of the simplistic styles and the red and the white, it got boring very quickly, dull on the eyes, and you're just hoping that we could get like some good prime singing, but it it was what it was. Like even if you're a super fan, you should know it's like we seen better performances like on like some MTV award show or something.
Yeah, I thought cinematically it was shot beautifully. I thought all of it was shot really well. I actually enjoyed the set design. I thought the levitation part was cool when she started singing Diamonds. I thought that was pretty nice. But other than that, it I'm going to give her a pass because she's pregnant. Okay. I'm going to give her a pass. She hasn't done this in a while. All right. It's almost been 7 years since she's done a performance of this caliber. So I'm giving her a pass. I could because I enjoyed the set list. I enjoyed Rihanna. And hey, fancy the the viewing of Fenty, it rose up her music on Spotify. It rose up almost 800%. So
Oh,
I'm
really?
giving her a pass. Yeah, yeah. That's the beauty of the Super Bowl. Like
Interesting.
apparently the artists don't get paid from it, but due to the notoriety and the songs that you play, it gives them like a little resurgence of just of whatever it is that they of whatever music that they have or whatever products that they're plugging. So it's nice. Like
I
that
guess I did
happened.
want to listen to Run This Town again.
I legitimately listened to the whole Rihanna Super Bowl playlist earlier today
Okay.
on Spotify.
So it made it
So,
real quick.
right, exactly. So it did its job well. And I was like, damn, we ain't never gonna get this new Rihanna album because like I forgot how great her songs are for a moment because it's been a long ass time since we've heard her. So the only time I'll really listen to Rihanna is when I want to listen to Auntie again, but I haven't listened to a lot of these songs like Only Girl in the World. That's been 2010 and um Yellow Diamonds in the Sky. That song is like 10 years old and it's just wild to just see how and think about how long Rihanna's been in the game.
Yeah. My last comment before we move on to the next subject is when all of the lights came on, I know we thought Ye was coming, but I didn't feel like it was her song. So it
It's
felt
not.
awkward hearing it. It's one of my favorite songs of all time. It's like the
Mhm.
perfect nonsense. Throw every artist on this track. It's like, why would you do this? Type
Mhm.
song. And it's like it didn't feel like a Rihanna song. It never did. Even though she had the most voice on the hook with like 10 people also singing the hook, it didn't feel right seeing it on the Super Bowl. I feel like there was like even 4 or 5 seconds, with Paul McCartney would be a better song than all of the lights. But it worked well for the.
Holy crap, she didn't play 4 or 5
No, it's
seconds.
not her song. It's not her song.
It's not her song, I know, but still,
That was a
damn it,
different. That
it's a
was a
good
different
song.
era. That was a different era. But it helped the stage transition. So I think that's why they played that song. And also, I don't think she sung a lot of her vocals, so just a lot of the background or pre-recorded stuff. So that helped the stage
Right.
transition to the next songs. Same thing for Run This Town too. I think those were like two back-to-back stage transition songs.
Right. All right.
But yeah,
Last comment. Well, it's going to be a question. Who do you think is going to have the Super Bowl halftime show next year?
next year,
Next year.
that's very difficult to say. I wouldn't.
That's
I would say Beyonce, but she did it too recently because she is
yes.
going on tour.
Hmm.
So I don't know.
She'd be like the first three-peat though, Bastion, because she did it once before solo, and then she did it again with Coldplay and Bruno Mars. That
mm-hmm.
was like 2015.
Yeah,
So she'd be like the first ever three-peat. I don't think she could three-peat that. I don't think. Well, I mean, Hove's on the committee now, so anything is possible. But I don't think so. I don't think Beyonce would.
it's either we will get three artists,
Hmm.
or you know what? I'm gonna say Nicki Minaj to throw off the energy. I'm gonna say Nicki Minaj because she hasn't done much in a while.
Hmm.
You know, coming off the same energy as Rihanna, hasn't done much in a while, but has the singles and has the energy to kind of match
Oh,
that performance for 15 minutes.
that makes me think like, oh, she's really gonna have to go back into her pop bag. I hated Nicki Minaj's pop bag.
Well, like
Starship was huge.
it will like bounce up and down. So I do think it would be like a hip hop verse track and
Mm.
then one of her pop tracks and hip hop verse track. Because I can imagine like SZA and like two other artists or Lennox like back to back with like three different artists. I don't know. They need to be like almost superstar status. I do think Nicki
I think
Minaj.
they need to be on some mega stars. Nicki Minaj, she's like a mega star. A lot of
Yeah,
people, everyone knows Nicki Minaj.
yeah.
So I'm going to, I'm gonna say, although it's Black History Month, I'm sorry. We've been getting a lot of black acts, and I love it. Okay, but I think genuinely we might get somebody white next year. Honestly,
Well, it's rock. It's run by Rock Nation. I understand.
it is run by Rock
It
Nation,
can't
but
be Chris Martin from Coldplay. He already did it.
no, he really did it. So I don't know any white artists under Rock Nation, but I feel this in my soul. We're probably gonna get like a band, like a rock band or something, just because a lot of middle America's like, oh, it's too much hip hop, hippity hip hoppity stuff. So maybe I put this down on my list before of artists that I truly think can do the Super Bowl halftime show. One of those artists that can appeal to white people, some black people as well. Foo Fighters. I definitely can see the Foo Fighters doing Super Bowl
Okay,
halftime show.
I believe that.
I can see them doing it. I don't know. Did Bruce Springsteen ever do the Super Bowl halftime show?
No idea. I do not listen to. You're asking to the wrong.
I know. I'm sorry. This is the wrong crowd and demographic.
Yeah,
I don't listen to
it was like
Bruce Springsteen,
it's like
but
your mom's American music playlist.
fair enough. I don't listen to Springsteen, but I know the large middle America listen to Bruce Springsteen. So I'm trying to think of white artists. Wait, does Elton John ever done the damn Super
I
Bowl?
feel like he's done. It's
He has to have, right?
That's something we may have to look up.
I gotta look that one up just to make sure, man. We're gonna take a commercial break, and
Yeah.
then I'll tell you the answer.
So while you
What's
look it
this?
up, we're going to play a
Mhm.
Metro Boomin track from his album last year.
Yes.
Um, Metro Boomin, The Weeknd, 21 Savage in the song "Creeping." Check it out.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but before that, I got a little note from BAI. We gotta play this little commercial first. I'm sorry, don't beat me up, but gotta play this first, and then we'll get into Metro Boomin, 21 Savage, Creepin', which actually, like, looking back on it now, this song is 10 times better than Mario Winans. I'm sorry, it's 10 times better. Abel on the track, come on. So we'll be right back. More Black Seinfeld, show about nothing. Young Metro, Abel Tesfaye, 2121 with Creepin'. Damn, this this version kills the Mario Winans P. Diddy version. I'm sorry. Like looking back on it now, Bastion, it's not that great. It was good for the times, but now in 2023, after hearing that version off the Metro album Heroes and Villains, this one is way more superior than the old version.
I think both versions are great, but I do agree with the first line you said. It was for a different time. So the way the
Yes,
production sounds, the way the vocals is mixed. Because I'm playing both songs in my head right now, and I do hear it differently. But I haven't heard the songs with like the current headphones I have now, so I don't know how it really sounds. I heard it when I
mm,
was like, in my parents' car back then when they
exactly.
had that green Acura from '95. But it just sounds a little different in my head.
It does sound a bit different, but also when you think about the Mario Winans version, one thing that that version has is the it's the Fuji sample
Yeah,
for Ready or Not, which definitely helps out a lot, in my
it's
opinion.
like the haunting synthesizer and the drums just play out so
Yes,
well. So yeah,
yes, it does. I just want to say Elton John has not performed at the Super Bowl, so my pick is going to be either between Elton John or the Foo Fighters. That's still kind of shocking, has that Elton John has not performed at the Super Bowl.
interesting. That
Yeah.
should maybe next year, maybe 2 years from
Maybe
now.
next
And I
year.
don't know. He's one of those artists that's always on a tour, like
Right.
always touring, and saying we're going to retire soon.
Yeah, that's
Shoot,
true.
actually, before we go to the next topic, Adele. There we go. Adele.
Adele, okay, that's fair. That's a definite. We can see that happening immediately.
A lot of her standing in one place singing and ballet, fireworks. Even though I'm against fireworks, all that type of stuff. Yeah, it works. It'll be a sight to see. The singing will be
It,
great, but it'll be okay too.
yeah,
Okay,
Adele's not much of a dancer, so I don't know. She's probably gonna have she need some ballet dancers
some ballet,
to
but
help her
she
out.
will go in with the vocals,
Oh,
no
100%.
backing.
Maybe someone's on the key, for someone like you, just have Elton John on the fucking keys do it. There you go.
The
Kill two birds with one stone.
easy, easy, perfect. You know,
Oh, what did you think about? Oh, I'm sorry. What did you think about our little commercial there? Our little
it's nonsensical. You're dissing one of my favorite songs growing up, actually, "Hero" by Enrique Iglesias. I have the album.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he was like one of my favorite singers. The album was full of bangers. I haven't listened to him in a long time, so I might listen to him tomorrow morning. So you kind of,
So you know what? You're welcome, Bastion, because I did that for you.
I
Okay,
can,
I just wanted to do a little tie-in because you were talking about last week. Well, last week we had the 20th anniversary of Get Rich or Die Trying, which doing great numbers, by the way, great numbers as soon as it dropped. You brought a mixtape 50, and I didn't really think much about mixtape 50, but one thing that popped in my head after I uploaded that episode was the Ja Rule skits that he used to do and how much it was just incredible. There's like five of them that he did. Just the Ja Rule skits and Ja Rule's just singing along to the classic hits at the time. It's great. It was funny.
those Jaru tracks were actually really good back in those days. It still is. All those Jaru
It
tracks are
was
still good.
good.
So
Listen. I like Ja Rule songs, okay,
yeah,
but when 50 Cent just had these little skits, it's funny.
it's funny.
All right, thank you.
All right, let's talk about our next topic. Our next topic, we're going to discuss what's been going on right now in Ohio. Ohio, the train derailment
Yes.
in East Palestine. East Palestine, Ohio. So it's clashing names. It was very interesting. I didn't even know East Palestine exists in Ohio. I don't know much about it besides Akron and LeBron James
Yo,
in Cleveland.
in Columbus, Ohio.
Sure, yeah.
They should change that to De Niro, but that's a callback from like 3 years ago. Anyways, but Bastion, this is one of the first times ever on this show that we've talked about Ohio ever in life. Okay, so something important has happened. The only other time I mentioned Ohio is when we were talking about the presidential elections. Okay, that's it. All right. Other than that, we've never mentioned Ohio on this show for the almost 10 years that we've been doing the show.
Did
I
Cleveland
just want you to know.
not win a championship and we didn't
Cleveland
discuss it?
did.
we probably didn't discuss it because it happens in June, so around that
That
time.
happened in June, and that was during the summertime,
So
and we didn't do summertime episodes. So I just want to let you know. I know this is a serious topic, but in the 9 years that we've been doing the show, this is the first time ever that we're actually talking about Ohio. And this is how you know this is serious, folks. This ain't a game. This is real. Okay? Because again, you know what? Apparently there was a train going by, and in this train, there was a lot of toxic things that can, if it's not conditioned properly, if it's not handled with care, it can it can mess up our environment. And guess what? That's exactly what happened because all these toxic toxins got released into the air and into the water, which, that goes back to a lot of things that happened here in America, Michigan and that BP oil spill, very notorious. When reading up about it felt somewhat similar to those.
yeah, and before we even get into it, I want to talk about something that we discussed a couple months ago. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to read these sub headlines from a CNBC article from 2 months ago when Biden signs a bill averting rail worker strike. All right, I'm going to read these three headlines. President Biden signed the bill into law making a rail strike illegal, preventing workers from walking off the job weeks before the holiday season. This is the second
Yep.
one. Congress intervened as the threat of strike loomed, but did not pass the paid sick leave provisions workers sought. The third one, the workers and the companies had until December 9th to reach an agreement before they vowed to strike, which the industry estimated will cost the U.S. economy $2 billion per day.
Mhm.
We've had a discussion recent. Trains, it's not in our everyday lives depending on where you live. Me and Gio, we're
Exactly.
from New York. MTA is our life.
Yes.
Subway is our life. We needed to move around. We did not have cars like that. Even though when I had a car, I still had to be dependent on the train station. Last year, we spoke a lot about how the union busting by Joe Biden, which is counterintuitive as a president, at least signed some deals so to help the people in the train industry support their jobs because they explained they're being overworked. They don't have any
Yes.
time off. They can't take paid sick leaves, especially during the pandemic. And we're still kind of in a pandemic. We're not just not talking about it, right? And Joe Biden kind of just pushed that to the side
Hmm. For Christmas,
for Christmas, right? He
for
saw
the
it
economy.
for the economy. The economy is a mess right now. We all feel it in our pockets. It's really hard to go shopping for some eggs. But I'm not gonna lie, the price of eggs has been the same for me because I always get the fresh ones. But if the struggling, the low quality eggs that you guys been copying, those prices are going high. So you should switch up. Pay the extra $2 for the stuff I've been buying. I'm not dissing y'all. But anyways,
You get sidetracked here, man. Back to Ohio.
back to Ohio. So we've been discussing train events for the past year.
Yeah. And
So
the fact that they're cutting costs too, as far as like safety precautions going, they've been cutting a lot of costs from that as well, which a lot of the union has been warning them about. Like we need the proper safety procedures because, you know, an accident can happen if those procedures aren't in place. So we need the money for that. And as a result, we see the results of the lack of care and
yeah.
the lack of respect.
So over a week ago in East Palestine, there was a train
Wow.
with roughly 150 carts that derailed and crashed, and about 20 of those carts had a substance called I just had it right here, vinyl chloride in it. So
Yes.
vinyl chloride is used for mostly plastic, and because it was there, it got into the dirt. And in order for them, and it's very combustible too, so they had to burn it in order for it not to combust. And it did cause a
Very
lot of
unstable.
clouding. Yeah, it's very unstable, and it did cause a lot of clouding and adding more materials into the air. Now, one strange thing is not a lot of it was being reported. How did I find it? Like most of my stuff through TikTok. It's annoying source of information, but when you use TikTok and Twitter as your news source, it's like you just got to kind of deal with it. So from there, I was able to find other articles discussing it. Certain local news reports did discuss more about it, but it wasn't a major topic on the news. Not as heavy as when when we're discussing about the balloon from China.
Oh yeah,
And you would think
there's
you'll
another
have the same energy.
Oh, absolutely not, because there's been more balloon bustings as of late.
Yeah,
So no,
UFO
I didn't
phenomenon
know exactly. So I didn't know about anything that was going on in Ohio. They were just talking about, oh, the U.S. shot down another balloon.
in Alaska. Yeah. So while that is going on, this is going on here in East Palestine, Ohio. So like roughly 13% of carts had the vinyl chloride, and they were just working to fix it. So the company Northfolk Southern Corporation is the one that
Yes.
owns this line, owns the train line. When it crashed and they were telling people to leave, they quickly donated $25,000 to the town. You would think per person, no,
No, no,
for
no.
everybody, $25,000. And I'm telling you, once it hit the news and circulated, that's when they started to say like now it's creating a $1 million charitable fund available immediately, and one of the components to support the community of East Palestine. So they did donate more money, but I think that's after people found out that they only donated 25,000 because of the incident.
As they should, as they should.
So
You know why? Because again, I'm assuming they probably had the same thought of that I just had, and and that's who really cares what the hell's going on in Ohio?
exactly, they
It's
want to
fine.
sweep it under the rug and move
Right.
on.
Exactly. Everyone is talking about the damn spy balloons. Like no one cares about Ohio, but with the power of the internet, the power of TikTok, and the power of just the locals and people who just genuinely care about what's going on, have the power to inform the people. And that's why Bastion is talking about it. That's why we're talking about it here on Black Seinfeld, a show about nothing, because we want to let you know how corporate jackoffs can try and get away with certain things like this, like the Northfolk Southern what's it called?
What the company Norfolk Southern Corporation?
The Norfolk Southern Corporation. We want to let you know, hey, this is what corporations think about y'all. This is what corporations think about small town cities like East Palestine, which is still weird to say that in Ohio.
So
But
what's strange is
you get my point.
this isn't the first incident, and there's many incidents. There's roughly been like 1,000 train derailments every single year. In terms
Mhm.
of it could fall off the track, maybe a few instances where they will drop,
Right, that's normal.
quote unquote, yeah. So a couple years ago, New Jersey had a train crash that leaked similar toxic as what was leaked in Ohio, and this is back during the Obama administration, so back in 2014. And I'm quoting this
Mhm.
from the Jacobin article. In response, the Obama administration in 2014 proposed improving safety regulations for train carrying petroleum and other hazardous materials, just like vinyl chloride.
Mhm.
However, after the industry pressure, the final measure ended up narrowly focused on the transfer of crude oil, exempting trains from carrying many of the other combustible materials, including the chemical that was involved in the disaster out in Ohio. And
Yes.
then in 2017, after the rail industry donors delivered more than $6 million to the GOP campaign and Trump administration, they were able to roll back everything. So all the rail lobbyists and the Senate and the Republicans were able to remove everything that administration has added. So one of the major things living in New York is that our system is so outdated. It's like 100 years old. That's why sometimes the trains run late because their system isn't speaking with each other. So something that I did not know this was a thing is most of the trains currently use Civil War era braking systems. Talking about this
Whoa.
Civil War era
Holy
braking
crap.
systems.
Damn.
So,
Retro.
so the Obama administration implemented this rule for all these trains to be updated with the new stated air powered brakes. So it will slow down much faster without any problems for future derailment. And of course, due to the Trump administration, they were able to cancel it so they didn't have to pay any of the upgrades. So, because sometimes when they pass a bill, they say, "Hey, we'll give you a few years for you to, get the money up to upgrade all everything that you need to do." Well, because they were able to cancel in time, they didn't spend a dime on it, and they said these current brakes are perfectly fine. Also, they were supposed to upgrade the rails as well. So most of these rails are out of date. They need to be updated, fixed. Zero maintenance done on it whatsoever, and they didn't want to spend a dime on it at all. So these are also causing issues and problems for the train line. Now, the best way to deal with the train situation, Gio, what do you think the best way to deal with it is?
Let's
There's
see.
one
The best
answer, but I won't give it to you just yet. What do you think?
I would think the best way to deal with the whole train situation, Bastion, if I was a betting man, if I was a man of common sense, to prevent, these things from happening again, because, here in America, that's how we get a lot of goods. It's through trains, it's through train transference and all that stuff. Through the railroad system, I would think, if this is the way that, a lot of Americans transfer their goods and a lot of toxic goods, and we've been having a lot of problems with the rails as of late, and derailing and crashes and toxic chemicals going into the air and the water and stuff like that. I think it would be a good idea to upgrade those. The trains, the railroads, all of it. That's what I'm
So
thinking. That's
implement a stronger rule where they have to.
Yes, safety protocol, everything.
If not, they get
You know,
fined.
Exactly.
Well,
That's what I.
I would double down and just say nationalize it.
Mm,
Nationalize government. Just take it. Nationalize everything dealing with trains. Nationalize the railroad so we could actually have like a hyper train, like like what's going on in China. So we could actually take a train from L.A. to New York with no problem.
well, Bastion, that would be a great idea as well.
It's
However,
the best
comma,
idea.
that is a great idea, Bastion. However, comma, the issue is, since these things are privatized, right? A lot of companies want to make sure that it's still privatized. So how do they do that, Bastion? They talk in the ear and they lobby for it with a lot of their friends that are in Congress and that are in the office. So that's why I honestly think that's not gonna happen.
It's not going to happen, but you cannot trust these private institutions to solve their own problems, even if it's in paper, right? Because one thing I do understand, every time an incident happens, there's like documents, white papers, articles, interviews of someone or a group of people explaining, hey, this is going to happen soon. We never know. It could happen a year from now, tomorrow, 10 years from now. It's going to happen. And they've been saying it's going to happen for the past few years. And if boom, it happened. No one wants to talk about it, of course. Mainstream. I'm talking about the same energy as the Chinese balloon. Just everybody should report and talk about it, but it didn't happen. Instead, we're getting these very strange EPA reports where they're testing the water. Said, hey, it's drinkable in the minimum standards. Like it hit the EPA standards. We could drink the water. Like the air, we tested the air. It hit the standards. You could come back home and chill. If people get sick, who's to blame? The EPA? Like you're not going to sue the EPA. You got to sue Northfolk Southern corporations.
Exactly.
But they didn't lose a single dime on the stock. Like when people heard about it, it's not like people like sell. It was just chilling.
Yeah, because again, unfortunately, it's Ohio. I'm sorry.
You think
Shout
it
out to
was the state?
Ohio.
You think if it was like in Buffalo, New York, people
Oh,
would say something?
you know what, Bastion? Because you said there was a similar incident that happened in New Jersey. You know what? I think. All right, this is gonna sound pretty brutal. Okay, train accidents. I don't think it gets a lot of national attention like that. To be honest with you, I don't think it does. As brutal as that sounds, I can't think of a last time where there was like a headliner where it was a train crash and it was horrific like that. I can't recall. Maybe it's because I'm on the spot, but I can't recall of a time where this made like national headline news. Again, I wouldn't know this if it weren't for you. It's like the pink sauce situation all over again. I wouldn't know. I would not have known about this.
Interest. See, the news didn't even go to you. So imagine people older, younger, this type of news has not reached them. They're
That's funny.
unaware of what's going on because even if let's say let's say the EPA is super correct, we have to believe them. They are the EPA, and they said there's no issue with the water, no issue with the air quality. Things should move along. 3 months later,
And they should drink it first. Then nothing's wrong with the water. Drink that first. Drink it. I want to see you drink it.
and everything moves along, right? We can't pretend like it won't happen again. Like it can happen again because, as I said, they were trying to remove hazardous materials from being transported through a train because if anything happens and it spills, it would affect the surrounding area that it's in.
Yes.
So once it hit a certain percentage, they did not have to tell Ohio that like, yo, we're transporting this. As I said, it was 20 out of the 150 carts, which is roughly 13%. 13% of the cart is filled with these hazardous materials. So it's like, I don't really got to tell you anything, right? Like, yeah, I had COVID a week ago, but it's like, I don't got to tell you that, even though, it stays in your system for a couple of days and you can still cough it out and give it to people. But that was just, people, that was like 2 years ago. Who knows if it still runs the same?
What was the other 87% of the carts filled with?
Just other materials and stuff. But
Okay.
the thing is, like, we don't know. It's still suspect to tell when, like, hey, can you like send us the document that has all of the things that are on that
Right.
the shipment. And
And would that interfere with the other shipments that was part of the derailment? Like what if some of that toxic stuff like seeped in through the other goods? You know what I mean? Do they even mention that at all, or am I just like,
well, they did have to control burn most of it
okay,
in order to
okay.
kind of like make sure it doesn't combust or blow up.
Hmm.
So that's kind of something I recently had to learn. It's like it was a control burn, like they had to do it. They're prepared for it. It did like darken up the sky a little bit,
Hmm.
looking very Matrix esque.
Ooh.
So yeah, I don't know. The whole thing I'm trying to say is like we gotta pay attention to it. I do think the trail line, like we're nowhere near automation vehicles. I seen that industry. I'm still looking at the industry. We're nowhere near it being perfected. We're nowhere near
Hmm.
flying cars.
Yeah,
Um,
that's not
Airplane prices are just going to be expensive. If you could get the deal, hey, if you have a good credit card, use those reward systems. I'm
be
anti-capitalist,
part
but
of the,
those points, better use those points. Find a
hey
good
man,
credit
be a part of
card.
the Sky Club.
Yeah, be part of the Sky
Part of that
Club.
Sky Club, bro. Shoot.
Um, but yeah, make sure you don't have to load stuff because they might send you emails like, oh, there's too many people in the Sky Club. We're going to remove it from your credit card. So unless you upgrade, you won't be able to access the lounges. That happened recently. For
Oh
certain
wow.
American Express cards.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
too many people are using the lounges. I don't even know where the lounges are. So
I know a lot of them are part of like international
international,
airports.
that makes more sense.
Yeah, the international airports. You can use the Sky Lounge because you're gonna be in there for a bit longer
Hmm.
since it's international. You always have to be there 3 hours before takeoff rather than the domestic,
Yeah.
or even just like even if it's a longer flight, if it's like bi-coastal, you can definitely use the lounge as well.
Okay.
Hmm.
So yeah, right now the biggest prevention is for them to pass laws, and of course I'll say like nationalize it, but that, as you said, it ain't gonna happen. Too
It's
many
not
people whispering in the ears of our senators and saying
exactly.
like, "Hey, just I'll give you $100,000 if you don't pass this bill." I said, "Bet,
Heard.
I need a new audio system for my vinyl player."
Especially now that the House is Republican dominant, that ain't going through, cut.
Yeah, they're gonna pass like the most out of the ordinary bills. It's gonna be pretty
Absolutely.
rough. One of the bills that I saw that they wanted to put in the docket, I don't think it passed like the representatives yet. It's like they wanted to remove tax from our paycheck taxes, payroll taxes, and just like nationalize it. So no one pays tax on their paycheck, but they will increase tax on product by 30%. So I was like, oof,
Yeah, good luck.
oof, that sounds
Disgusting.
well. It'll sound great for like people like me that's trying to pay off like credit cards. Like, oh, then I get no tax, get the extra 100, throw it at them. But like if I'm trying to buy eggs,
Right.
that $7 is now $10.
Right. Yeah.
Oof,
Think about that, all right?
those Amazon
And and
taxes.
and be thankful too that you don't live in a state where they do sugar tax as well. So,
Sugar,
wait, do y'all do sugar tax in California?
sugar.
Y'all don't do that, right?
Nah, is that a real thing?
Oh no, that is a real thing. They do that over in Pennsylvania. They do that in Philly.
Sugar tax. So if you
That's
buy
real.
sweets or something, you get taxed.
Yeah.
Almost like
Yeah.
plastic bags, right?
Right. Exactly. Over for here in New York,
It's over
if you
here
get a
too as
plastic.
well.
Okay.
So yeah,
Or just not even plastic anymore, just a regular ass bag.
uh,
They'll tax
there's
for
also
it.
bottle tax too. So if you buy a bottle, like a case of
Bottle
20,
tax.
it's in New York too, I think. If
Really?
you buy a case of 24 like bottles of Poland Spring, you get taxed on that too.
I actually did not know that.
Yeah.
Huh. I
So
learned something new.
yeah, so the Ohio train derailment. Hopefully you guys pay attention to see what's going on. I do think this is a big issue because it does talk about like the president's controlling like union busting and how important unions are and being overworked
Yes.
and controlled, and everything works with each other. So there is a domino effect. As Biden said last year, if they did strike during the holiday season, that's $2 billion a day being lost. And the economy is not great right now. So the best way to resolve it is to hire more people, get those PTO and time off. But I don't know.
But no one wants to work nowadays, Bastion. What's wrong with these kids? No one wants to work nowadays. But
Skeleton crews, they're getting a lot done with the skeleton crews.
Mm.
I think I would say like problem solving is like a human skill. So if you're given very little, you'll figure it out. But at what cost? At what
At
cost?
what cost? And that's a great segue to talk about a certain movie trailer that came out during the Super Bowl commercial, Bastion. It's at what cost? At what
I
cost?
like that. I like that. Uh,
You have this jackass parading around, beating people up in Hawaii and all that stuff, creating a damn ruckus wherever he's going, and Ezra Miller as the Flash. And because the Flash is well known and because they put too much damn money into that movie already, seems like Warner Brothers Discovery has no choice but to go ahead and release the damn film. Y'all want to blame The Rock and all of that. I don't see the outrage for Ezra Miller as of yet.
I do blame The
Okay.
Rock because that film didn't have to be made. All right, the Flash film was already made pre-pandemic. It was already cut up. They just had to
All
add the
right.
CGI.
Right. It was pre-made already, and then while it was being pre-made already and getting edited, guess what Ezra Miller was going ahead and doing? Beating people up and acting like a damn
I'm
menace
not
to
speaking for
society.
him. I'm talking for DC. All right. Look. If I was DC president, I'll say, hey, Ezra's been wilding. Right? Ezra Miller
Think?
has been wilding. We cannot. We already spent the budget. It's already
Mm.
here. Like we canceled.
Mhm.
I'm speaking, pretending I'm the CEO of Warner Brothers. We canceled Batwoman.
Makes it even worse.
We spent 80 million of that. It was in editing. We took that, destroyed it. It does not exist. We canceled TV shows. We're removing shows from HBO so we don't have to pay any sort of residuals. All right, we're trying to save money out here, but
Mhm.
we know, and we know that in order for us to redo everything, we got what's his name, James Gunn.
James Gunn,
James
yes.
Gunn to redo all of DC because we know DC fans they got money to spend. We see what you spend on Marvel. We know that you're gonna watch Ant-Man, even though we all know it's gonna suck. All right, but
Whoa, come on. That's not fair. Don't come at us like that. This is about y'all, okay? And your little menace.
so we know the good people that will continuously read and continuously watch DC animation will come out and support the Flash film because one word, retcon. We're going to retcon the series. After Flashpoint, it's going to be a new DC. Won't you want to see it? You like Days of Future Past? Well, this is our version of it in Flashpoint. And we all know Flashpoint. So you're going to see
You
it.
know what? You know what, Fashion? Because I've seen a lot of people.
Also, one
Um,
word, two words.
please.
Michael Keaton. Done.
Okay. See, I knew you're gonna do that. All
Michael
right.
Keaton,
So
Batman. What?
I'm going to be on this side of the argument here, okay? Because I know a lot of y'all were when we talked about Hogwarts Legacy. I know there was a strong side of if you support this game, then then you are anti-trans. Okay, you're transphobic. All right. If you support this movie right here, okay, that means you are supporting Ezra Miller. All right, a known menace to
He is not
society.
the Flash. The Flash is
He
the
is the
Flash. No,
Flash.
no, 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 no. The
Yo,
Flash.
yo, it is
Remember the
starring
concept of the
Ezra
stars?
Miller.
They're saying stars don't make movies anymore, right? Stars don't make movies anymore. He is not a star. He is Flash being played by Ezra Miller, but it's the
Oh, really?
Flash. Yep.
Then I'm gonna take that. Then don't blame The Rock. Then
No, 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 no,
because
no. That's different.
stars
Because
don't make the movies,
no,
Bash.
no.
You just
Stars
you
don't
just
make
said
the movie, but they made that movie basically solely off the energy of The Rock. No one else is involved. There is no Black Adam comic book that we're all trying to buy volume 1. It is not selling, all right? It is not selling for $10 on eBay. No one cares for that, okay? But people are
don't
buying
support Ezra
buying
Miller.
that
Okay.
Flash, right? Rebirth Flash number 16 with Batman, all right? I remember that one. I bought that comic. It was awesome. All right? All
Don't
right?
support that man as Ezra Miller.
No,
Okay.
I'm supporting the
Because you're
Flash.
gonna enable him, okay?
I
Y'all are gonna
no
enable him.
no because
You're enablers.
he's
That's what
not
you're
coming
doing.
back as the Flash, so it don't really matter. You know, he's gonna get his stuff. Retcon 2 hour and 30-minute film. Boom, new
Doesn't
universe.
even need to be retcon. Just retcon it all together. Just scrap it all together. You did this to Batwoman, right? And you misogynistic too, because this menace over here can go ahead and beat the hell out of people and assault people and steal stuff and just do just some wrong things. Meanwhile, Batwoman, they ain't do nothing with Batwoman. 80 million for nothing. They just got rid of her
We're gonna
because she's a
retcon it.
woman. You see this?
We're gonna
You
retcon
see
it.
this?
We got to start by scratch.
Defend it, Bastion.
I could only say it's DC's version of Days of Future Past. They have to drop the film in order to make the next films make sense because we're going to try to keep it in the same heart. All right? The same heart. Not the same universe, just the same heart, the same energy. So that means you could still buy the DVDs from the previous stuff because it still flows. All right? Everything that happened, Batman versus Superman, what's his name? Henry
Cavill.
Cavill, all that stuff still existed in another timeline in another universe. And the reason we no longer are paying attention to that timeline and universe because of Flashpoint. And now whatever they're going to build in the future will continue going on. That's it. They just need it just so they could just, just brush off the dust and start something new. Start by scratch, okay? DC Comics has done it multiple times with New 52, ran it to the ground, garbage, brought back Rebirth. Had to use Wally West to say like, yo, this is just another universe within another universe within another universe, and we all got brainwashed. And then the Flash had to come and just change everything and fight Dr. Manhattan. That's kind of like the end. But you know what? They could do that too if they wanted to bring Dr. Manhattan back. No? Okay.
All right, that would be pretty tight. But see, the issue is with the DCEU, the issue with Flash, the issue with Ezra Miller in particular is they don't have the power of family, Bastion. Because family conquers all. And that's right, Bastion. Fast and Furious 10 will be coming out this week. Well, not this week. This May? This May. Fast 10 Part 1 will be coming out.
Part 1.
And yeah, bro, it's broken up into 2 parts. You know how these finales are going, man. It's Part 1 and Part 2, okay?
What?
Because the slogan goes the ending begins this day. So it's going to be 2 parts. It's a two-part series. Because you know, big finales now, Bastion, they have a two-parter.
First of all, I'm surprised that Vin Diesel is still able to make these movies because I know he's like a complete weirdo on the set. And
Well,
also
they had a contract for 10 movies.
The Rock doesn't want to work with him.
Hey, that is something
So
huge,
your boy
man.
came back,
Who came back?
Tyrese.
Oh, right, right. Tyrese did come
Wait,
back.
Cardi B is in the movie too.
Really?
I'm just looking at this list. Anyways, Fast X looks like everybody's in this movie. Jason Momoa, aka
Yes, he's the villain.
Aquaman, is going to be
He's the
playing a
villain.
villain.
John Cena's in it.
Brie Larson's in this.
Yeah, Brie Larson's in this too. John Cena is a Dominic's brother. I've seen all of the Fast series on
John,
accident,
wait,
to be
he is?
honest. Yeah, John Cena's in this. He was in the last one. He was Dominic's brother in Fast
He
9.
is? What, like half,
I'm not
like what,
lying to
like
you.
half brother?
Yeah, it is his half brother. They have the same father.
Oh, okay. Vin Diesel's
Yeah, so
Vin Diesel's like slight passable for black.
he actually is black. I didn't know this.
Yeah, he's like half black or something like that.
Yeah, I did not know this. Happy Black History Month, people. Vin Diesel is actually black. I did not know this. I thought he was just like probably Puerto Rican at best.
Yeah. Well, what's your thoughts on the trailer? Are you a fan of? You are a fan. You watch these movies, right?
Well, I'll say this. I've watched all of these movies, but more so the latter half on mistake. Like it, I don't know what happens is you just flip the channel, you just flip it on USA Network or something or HBO and it's just on. Like I've never actually gone to the theater, paid a ticket to go see the new Fast and Furious. I just continued to watch this stuff and I just watched to get more ridiculous and just the stunts and the cars and like they went to space. Okay, there's not much else you can do in Fast 10. All right, I don't know. They've done a submarine. Um, it went from street racers, which was a cool ass concept, to now just like this. It's like Ocean's 11 with cars. That's the best way I can describe it. And everyone is in it. John Cena's in it. Everyone who is dead has basically come back to the film. Like Han, he came back. Michelle Rodriguez came back. The only person who's not back is, well, R.I.P. Paul Walker, but he's not even dead in the damn film, Bastion. Like he's still like actively alive. He's just not in the films no more. He's no longer doing the crazy stuff that Dom and the family would be doing.
Yeah.
But he's very much still alive in the film, if that makes sense.
S-
It doesn't, but hey,
Sad, but
you just got to watch it.
okay. Anyways, that's enough of these garbage trailers. Anyways, let's get
Yes.
into the next song. It's gonna be The Roots. You Got Me, featuring Erica Badu.
That was The Roots featuring Erica Badu. You got me off of the critically acclaimed Proceed. Welcome back to Black Seinfeld, the show about nothing. Let's get into music.
What would you like to discuss today?
Two albums in particular that I've been listening to nonstop since they've released. And the first one, Bastion, comes to us from a now grown ass woman that dropped this album on the anniversary of the first song she's ever put out at the age of 13. And I will say this right now, hindsight being what it is, 2020, the fact that we as a society went in on a 13-year-old Rebecca Black for Friday, the way that we did, it was bad. Okay, it's not good. It was not a good look. Okay, but again, 2011 was it was a different time back then, Bastion, where grown ass men and teenagers like myself went in on this poor ass 13-year-old girl just for making a song about the best day ever, Friday. And if you don't know, after that, Saturday and then Sunday comes afterwards, and she never wanted that day to end. And I respect the fact that Rebecca Black still continued to put out music, even though she is known as the girl who came out with the Friday record. and now she finally came out with her debut album, Bastion, Let Her Burn, which is a hyper pop album, very popish album. And I'm not gonna lie, Bastion. This one threw me off, but in a good way, because if you just gotta take off, you gotta turn your brain off from all the Friday stuff. You gotta take your brain off of what she was known for, and you have to just embrace what she's doing now. Again, she's a 25-year-old grown ass woman now. Okay, she's doing big woman things. Okay, and I'll be honest, I think Pitchfork, the dude who wrote the Pitchfork review, I think the dude was just hating. Like it was a lot more snarky comments towards Rebecca Black than the actual music. Like he called it dull and deflating and not really original and this and that. Um I disagree. I think some of the tracks got slaps on this. One of my favorite tracks on this album was the single, actually, and that is, hold on, let me just get the track list up. Hold on, my apologies, people. It's very unprofessional, and that's Crumbs, one which is like her single. I think it's fire. I think like the first three tracks is fire. Destroy Me, Misery Loves Company, Erase You, Crumbs. I think they're all like pretty fire. I have the same opinion on it as I did with Lil Yachty's album, right? I like where she's headed. I like the sound. I like the hyper pop sound. I like what she's doing. Um, I just think she could do a bit more, to further enhance the music. You feel me? Just she has good sound. She has good ideas. I just needed to come together a bit better.
Okay. So I've only listened to it as I actually was paying attention to Rebecca Black. Seen many of her music videos these past few years. Every time she pops up on my timeline, I kind of check it out to see like what she's been up to. As Gio said, like I think we were pretty young. I think probably
Yeah,
when we were like
it's like
16.
15, 16 when
And this
when
is
Friday
early.
dropped.
This is to like early YouTube energy. Like people are trying to make it on YouTube and Vine esque era.
Yeah.
So her single when it came out was like something we could all join in and bash together.
Yes.
So to be raised and to live through that type of dark energy isn't favorable, is not healthy. But I've seen her interviews. She's been on a couple shows I watch. I think it was this. What was this? Is It Cake? There's this TV show on
Okay.
Netflix. Is It Cake? She was one of the judges there, so I saw her there as a personality. So I was like,
Okay.
all right, this is kind of interesting. Um, I heard it. It was okay. You said it was
Yeah.
you texted me like it was probably interesting because I like pop music.
Right. I
Um,
know you were asking for some more pop music. I'm like, oh, yo, the new Rebecca Black album just came out. There's some bops on this.
nah, it's like regular pop bops. It's nothing to write home about. Like I wouldn't diss it by giving it a very low score. I just like okay,
Yeah.
this gets a couple of listens and that's pretty much it. Nothing to really go back to. Nothing that truly pops out because I didn't favorite any of these tracks. I heard it twice already. It's like all right, this is cool. I had enough. Um, am I looking for more in that direction? Don't know. I do think personally it could be lyric in content. That's
Hmm.
why when you have someone like Carly Rae Jepsen, who I think is a prolific songwriter, so even if the beat is a little bit off, the content is just so much enjoyable. It's very comedic. She has such a sense of humor. So I think that's what she needs to bring into this as a singer, just having a sense of humor. Because she sounds very funny as a personality. Like when I watch her interviews or if she's communicating with someone online or whatever TV show she's on, she's funny. So she gotta bring that energy or that comedic energy to her music. So that's what I like to say about like pop artists. If they could be interesting in their music, in their interviews, they could be really interesting in their music. So maybe this is just the first step. This is her debut
Yeah.
album. Maybe it's,
Debut album.
maybe it's to show that tell people that she's serious. I always thought she was serious due to the production of like check her out her Instagram to her YouTube videos and her music and how she presents herself. She does look like an artist. Some people look like an
Mhm.
artist. She does look like an artist. So maybe
Yeah,
she needs to drop this album in order to get like certain producers in order to make music with her. So
exactly.
yeah, really.
I'm not saying it was whack. I'm saying there's a couple of songs here that I think y'all might like and check out. So check them out. Okay, I'm not gonna be like that pitchfork dude and just completely crap on her. Okay, we not doing that.
Yeah,
We grown ass men.
I'm trying to
So take a
see
listen to it.
like which big producers, like I guess Gian Stone, who's worked with like Ariana Grande and Justin Bieber. I think that's probably John Legend. That's probably one of like the bigger producers on this
Hmm.
track. I think they only produced Look at You.
Yes.
Yeah, that's another interesting. But yeah, I think it was probably just hard to get like top tier producers. You can't get your stuff to sound as banging as like Doja Cat pretty early on without like great producers. Because Doja Cat
Mhm.
got like the top tier industry producers that you have to call.
Yeah.
It's kind of difficult to be up and coming and get that same phone call. So it's either you produce your own stuff or you could find a small team and hopefully you could blossom through. Not to compare her to Lil Yachty, but it's like if you could find like look under the names and see
Hmm.
like, hey, I know this person could do this very well. That's how you call them. But if you don't have the money and budget, it's really hard to get there. So yeah, maybe the next album will be really good because people could see that it's like, okay, she has a great voice.
Yes. She can
Definitely,
sing her ass off.
she
She's
gets,
good.
she's really good. Definitely has the talent. Just has to get there, personality wise and music wise. So yeah, I'm glad I'm listening to the album. It's not whack, right? It's not
It's
like
not whack.
yeah, if
It's not whack,
it's
bro.
not whack, it's not garbage pop music. It's like it's in its very present form. The song is finished. There's a hook. There's singing. There's ballads. There's lyrics. Okay, so she can make music. Let's see how she
She
could.
knows how to structure a song.
Yeah, so it's good. It's really good. So yeah,
Yeah.
definitely check it
So
out. Or I'll,
check it out.
yeah,
Like listen to it on a nice sunny ass day,
yeah.
and you walking down a road or something, or you're in the car. Just listen to it then, okay? Then you'll understand a little bit, okay? Um, do you have any albums you want to talk about, Bastion, or is this just straight up me?
I've been listening to a lot of older music these past couple of days.
70s?
Yeah, like listen to Prince Paul and Minnie Riperton, Earth, Wind and Fire.
Hmm.
Um, those are pretty much like the bands I've been listening to. A lot of Earth, Wind and
Okay.
Fire recently.
Okay, that's what's up.
Yeah,
Well, one band that I've been listening to as well, Bastion, and they took a hiatus back in after their After Laughter album back in 2017, and I'm very happy to see this band back officially with their latest album. This is why. That's right. This is from Paramore. Okay, I'm a Paramore fan, as y'all know. Love Paramore. Love the pop punk sound. Love Haley Williams as a vocalist. She could sing her ass off too. I know y'all have seen on TikTok all of the Haley Williams performances, her crip walking, her backing it up a little bit. We've been seeing it, okay? And it's no secret. Black people love Paramore, okay? Maybe not all black people, but this black person does, and
are you saying
there's a
something?
section.
Are you calling me out?
No, I'm not calling you out, Bastion. I know you don't like Paramore. I would have been like, Bastion doesn't like Paramore. I would have said that, but no. You know what I mean? I'm just saying not all black people love Paramore because we're not a monolith.
Yeah,
Okay, it's Black History Month. All right, but on the same token, there's literally a podcast called Black People Love Paramore podcast. So do with that what you will. But I will say this as an avid Paramore fan, I am happy to see them back. And this album, 10 tracks, only 35 minutes. This is already gonna be probably one of my favorite albums of the year because this it's a bop, Bastion. This
speak on
is
it. Speak on it.
okay. So let me give you the sound scope of the album because during after laughter our laughter, right, it was a lot more 80s heavy 80s synth pop, new wave, mixed in with a little bit of that indie sound. They took like a hard right from their pop punk sound that they've been known for all these years, right? This was why is a mixture of what they did in 2017, but also it's more of a, but also mix in that mature level of pop punk, if you will, and they combine it together and they gave us This Is Why. Okay. First two tracks, of course, This Is Why in the news, and already the the chorus itself is just super catchy. This is why I don't leave the house. It perfect, right? And those songs to me, from what I'm getting, right, this feels very pandemic-ish in my opinion. Talking about not being able to leave the house, especially the second track, the news, talking about how um you feel almost helpless because you're watching the news and you want to contribute and you want to help, but like you realize that you're still just one person, and like you can't really do that much as one single person. So sometimes I turn off the news, and that's how I was feeling when I was watching when I was in the pandemic a little bit, Bash. I'm not gonna lie, of not wanting to leave the house, but also turning on the news and seeing everything that's been happening with the pandemic, and then of course we saw January 6th happen too, and a lot of it you feel a bit helpless. You can't really do much. Okay, you can only do but so much as a person, as one single person. So that's when I had to turn off the goddamn news. Okay, so those were like the first two tracks where I'm like, okay, this feels very much so I've been trapped in the house for 2+ years, and this is how I feel. C'est comme ça is a French saying that translates to that's just the way it is, basically. And Haley in this one, she's talking about like her mental health issues. She has to take medication for this and that. I'm getting older, but hey, so is life. C'est la vie. See, I know some French, Bashtin. I'm smart. I'm educated. You feel me? You feel me?
If a French person heard you speak French, they'll laugh at you.
Oh yeah, of course I know. I've been to Paris. They're fucking snooty. They're real dicks over there. But anyways, again, a lot of these tracks, they have so much replayability. The hooks are catchy. One of my favorite tracks is Figure Eight, and it feels like progression, like prog rock in a way, because um like the beat just keeps progressing as the track keeps going. And again, catchy ass hook where Haley's going, I don't know how to stop. I don't know how to stop. Then I keep it going, going. And dude's on the guitar just riffing. It has a lot of bops. It has a lot of grooves to it. And every time I listen to this album, it's the more and more I feel like I'm a more mature pop punk. This isn't the early 2000s. This is definitely the 20s now. You feel me? And it's weird growing with the band, because when they were teenagers, I was just a little ass kid. I was like a preteen, and now almost being 30, and now that they're in their 30s, and they have this a bit more of a mature sound, and it's definitely a sound for, if you were around in the early 2000s and you listen to pop punk, this is their older sound that sounds like that, but also mixed in with what I said before in the 80s synth pop and the new wave and the indie. I know you're not a fan, Bastion. Just hear me out. Just it's 10 tracks. It's under 30 minutes. Just just give it a chance. Just give it one listen.
Okay. I did listen to it. I
Really?
did listen to it. I always listen to Paramore. I don't give it multiple chances. But I also listen to Paramore. I listened to when I was recommended to listen to Riot, and Brand New Eyes. I remember listening to it in high school. It's like, yeah, sure. Um, like I said, I was listening to Metric, and I was discovering Coldplay. So I was listening to that as rock music goes. Interesting album. I only listened to it once, and I like to pay attention to, especially live instruments, how the drummer is going, the bass guitar and the electric guitar going, as a bass player myself. You can see the bass behind me if you're watching this on YouTube. Interesting album. I do need to give it a couple more listens before I give it such a structured, well thought out review like you just did. One of the songs that I did favorite off the first listen was "Running Out of Time." I thought
Mm,
that was a very good track, very smooth
hmm
and I just felt like I was involved listening to the track. But I do want to give it a couple more listens. I'm not gonna. I can't really give a comment on it off the first listen. But yeah, I will try to. Now you explain a little bit more. I could probably
He's always
see
running
where it's
out of
coming
time.
from,
See?
and
Wow.
it kind of makes sense how the cover looks. It's their face being smushed on a like a see-through type wall. So it
Hmm.
seems like they're being trapped or being suffocated.
Hmm.
So all right, now I have a small angle to listen to the album too.
And you mentioned running out of time. That's another banger too. And it's another groove. It's a groove, and the chorus is catchy. It's always running out of time. And then the freaking guitar comes in, bam, 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 bam. And then the backup chorus, he's always running out of time. Bam, bam. Come on, bro. This album's fire. Album is it was worth the wait, damn it. All right. Haley had to do her two little solo albums, and I listened to those, and those were cool. Okay, it was fine. It was melancholy. She had to get that off her chest. She got divorced and all that stuff. And then, boom, Paramore's back. They gave us some sleek ass grooves, some nice ass riffs, some good ass chorus, catchy ass choruses. Okay, like literally, I could just be walking and just go, I don't know how to stop. I don't know. Again, going, going, going. Come on, man. This sounds fire. Okay, this album's good. This is gonna be on my list,
All
people.
right,
So don't
Gio,
just
I'll definitely
just
give
don't
it
get
a couple more listens just for you, bro.
thank I appreciate that, Bashtin. That really touches my heart.
But yeah, that's anything else you've been listening to?
There's nothing else I've been listening to, but there's a couple of albums that I am definitely looking forward to in the later months. The Grillers is going to be coming out with the new album Cracker Island. They already gave us like I don't know how long it's going to be, but they already gave us like four tracks already that I've been listening to heavily. I've been listening to right now Silent Hill. Hold on, let me just give you the person that is featured because I want to give this man the proper respect. Silent Running, I apologize, featuring Adelie Omoteo. That's his name. And to me, this feels like the most like radio friendly Gorillaz record. I feel like they're trying to appeal to the Z100s of the world. I ain't gonna lie, okay? But it's a smooth little riff. Um, Adelie Omoteo has a great voice. Damon's doing his thing. So I'm excited
They
for
are
Cracker
definitely
Island.
producing a lot more music, more now than ever.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I think after that 7 year gap and then Humans came out, we all know how Humans turned out. Okay. You already know how I feel about Humans. Okay. And then after Humans, that album wasn't really that good. Okay. I think they found a nice little thing that they were doing when they came out with Song Machine season one,
Hmm.
right? When they just drop just different singles, they just drop different little bundles, and they focus more on each song rather than just coming out with an album all at once. They're really doing that with Silent Run and with I'm sorry, Cracker Island, because there's already five songs that they came out with, and they've been doing that since at least like last year. There's already the track with Thundercat, Cracker Island. There's the track with Tame Impala and Booty Brown. And then they have the track with Adelie Omoteo, but also they have Skinny Ape and Baby Queen as well.
Hmm.
So I like the fact that that Damon's coming out with just singular tracks now. He's focusing on just one song at a time. Just don't give me like a full ass album right out the gate because it feels like yeah,
The album concepts are just not as hitting as they were 10, 15 years ago.
right, right. Just do what you're doing now, and I'm cool with it. It's not Plastic Beach, okay, and it's definitely not Demon Days. It's not that, but I'm looking forward to that. Let's see any other albums that I'm really that's been announced that I'm looking forward to.
Well, something
Uh,
interestingly, JPEG Mafia and Danny Brown. I know last
yes,
year they announced that they're going to do a collab album, but it seems like they're finally finished. And I don't know if it's in the mixing process or last second stuff, but that's going to drop soon. I think that's going to be a very interesting collab. I
definitely.
think I was watching a small interview on the JPEG thing. Danny Brown's like, it's either we make music together or I'm going to diss you. because it's like
Wow,
they're in the same lane. It's like
that
because
is
of
true.
like when Danny Brown came out, remember back in 2013. It's like no one wanted to listen to him like that, but he was able to create his own lane for himself, and that's why we all
Mm.
respect him today. So that's an album I'm definitely looking forward to hear out sometime soon.
I'm surprised you're not interested in hearing a new ASAP album. It's been a while for ASAP.
Oh no, I'm always looking for an ASAP album. I didn't like his last one so well, but I always said that the singles play off by itself very well, but when it's together in the album form, I don't like any of it, which is very strange. So if I was a playlist person, which I'm not really interested in making playlists, or listen to singles, I would definitely use a couple of the songs in the last album. I am a big fan of ASAP Rocky. I do think he makes really good music. Um, he only had like one bad album, so I'm not gonna throw it at him. And I like the singles he's been dropping recently too. Same Problems, um, In Me. The song
Hmm.
he did with for Rihanna. I forgot DMB.
Yes,
That was my favorite song. That song was fire. Especially the music video and Aria. But yeah, definitely a big fan. Very interested to see where he's going after testing. Talent wise, I do think he has a lot to offer, but sometimes the crowd just not really interested or see eye to eye with his music taste or direction. But
that's fair.
he is giving different stuff, so I am looking forward to see what is next.
I do want to say, Bastion, that when we did the best of 2022 as far as albums are concerned, that episode, I remember you said something and you were like, I don't think we're gonna have another year like 2022. And so far, Bastion, you're not wrong. You're not right. I mean, no, you are not wrong about this. It's been pretty dry for
Yeah,
in 2023. Like, because January we were spoiled. We had FKA Twigs, and then we had, of course, our favorite album of the year, The Weekend with Don FM. But now it's just, of course, Gunna came out as well. And but as of now, like January was just dry.
I do
Um,
think the best thing to do now is to try and listen to artists that you've never listened to. So if you could
mhm.
gloss on whatever, I know we're all using streaming applications, or if you want to go on like a website that shows like recently dropped albums, is just to check out these new artists. Or these
Mhm.
artists might be 2 or 3 albums deep in, but we just don't know of them. I think this is the best opportunity and time in order to listen and check them out. Because you have time. Like nothing new came out unless you're gonna do what I'm doing, listening to Earth, Wind, and Fire, just because
Yeah,
want to check them out again. So I do believe this is the best time with no distraction for you to listen to artists that you've never listened to.
that's very sound advice.
Yeah,
Um,
you're not distracted. Check it out.
yeah, that's true. Also, I'd like to say as well, uh, if you don't even want to do that, it's been 20 years since 2023, one of the best years in music, my humble opinion. Hey, man, go ahead and listen to any 20th anniversary of whatever album. If you want to listen to Freeway, if you want to listen to 50, if you want to listen to who else came out in '03? If you want to listen to Lose Yourself, if you want to listen to all these damn albums that dropped 20 years ago, go ahead and do it now. Or even 2013. Okay, you listen to the 10-year anniversaries, listen to Live Love ASAP, listen to all that crap.
Listen to Because of
Oxymoron.
the Internet.
Listen to Because of the Internet. There you go. Listen to Wolf. Listen, Wolf was cool.
No, Wolf was good.
I have to
It
re-listen
was
to
very
that. I have to
thematic.
re-listen to it. Mm-hmm.
It's not Goblin.
It's not Goblin.
That's
It
difficult
is.
to listen to.
Yeah.
But Wolf is good.
Listen to the 2020 experience, part one only. Don't listen to part two. Damn it.
Yeah, use this time and opportunity to listen to artists that you haven't got a chance to, if you're that type of musically inclined person, because there's a lot of artists that just go under the table, like we just don't know who they are unless they get like a Drake feature. But we don't want to do that. We want to discover
Right.
artists.
Drake's not even doing that
We don't want
anymore.
to gatekeep either. So no gatekeeping. If you like someone, share it with your friends. Okay, no gatekeeping. We are against gatekeeping music, TV shows, and videos because they just either get canceled, no one watched the movie, or just quit making music. So no gatekeeping. You're not cool for that. Imagine we all gatekeep Kid Cudi after the 10 the 10 Deep mixtape came out, A Kid Named Cudi. How would we all feel now? All right. So,
Wow.
yeah.
That's a very good point, Bastion.
Yeah.
Well, it's time to say goodbye to the second to last ever episode of Black Seinfeld here on 99.5 FM WBAI New York. I don't know how next week is going to be. It's going to be the last episode. I don't I don't feel emotional as of yet. Maybe when we get there, I might. But as of now, how about you?
I don't know. I think I have to be in the moment in order to feel something. Now it's
Same.
step by step. The time is coming. Like this came up pretty quickly because when we discussed this earlier in the year, it's like, oh, we're gonna do a couple more episodes, but now it's like the last episode, so
Yeah,
it came out pretty quick.
yeah, it's pretty weird actually, but I don't know. We'll see what happens next week. Until then, where are we going out, Sebastian?
So we're gonna get out like this is probably I don't want to end the show next week with this song, but I'm gonna end it with this one. This is the last Radiohead song you're gonna hear from us. It's gonna be Exit Music. Definitely check out our stuff on blackseinfeld.com. We're also a podcast.
That's right.
So any podcast, just type in Black Space Seinfeld. You'll be able to listen to our stuff. We're on
There
Instagram
you
and
go.
Twitter at Black Seinfeld NY. And please email us if you have any questions for the show. BlackSeinfeldNY@gmail.com. This is Exit Music by Radiohead. See you guys next week for the last episode. Peace.
Peace.